Right, what we were discussing in the last week is about our Pascal lesson, and under that we discussed up to the nested loops and the nested if-else statements. Today we have to start our new new subheading, which is arrays. Right, so arrays, here the meaning of array is basically, so general or the normal variables are capable of storing single value at a time, at a given time. Okay, let's see that practically. So when you go to your Pascal code in environment, if you just type a single variable, like let's say you have a variable and variable name is x and it is integer variable, and let's say this value of x is x equal to 1 here, and if you print that x, write ln that x, you can see the output is 1. Output is 1. So let's say you do some operation, let's say x equal x plus 5, and when you print that, you will get 6. Now 1 is not there, instead of 6 is there. 1 not 6 1 is not there instead of, so it can store only one value at a time. That's the proof, right? Okay, let's change it again. X equal, let's say 90, and after that, if I'm writing this back, write ln again, writing this x back, now you can see the first time x will be 6 and the second time x will be 9. The same x, it can hold only one value, but concept of array will let you store a series of values. So see this train, you can see it's series of boxes, a series of cabins or boxes. Here also it's like a set of blocks. It's also a series. So similar to that, if you want to save similar type of data continuously in the memory, so array is very good option. If you want to save similar type of data continuously in the memory, then array will be a very good option to do that. So array is allowing you to store multiple values using indices. You can say these are called indexes or indices. So using these indexes or indices, it allows you to store multiple values in a given variable. So let's say this array variable is marks. In this marks array, it has 0 to 9 elements. You can say these are indexes. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Indexes means it's used to identify the array. Array name is marks, right? Marks 0 is this. Marks 0 can make. So you can see the same marks. This is mark 0. This is mark 1. This is mark 2. Up to mark 9. So indices are. So it will allow you to store 10 values. You can change the elements, any element at a time, and all the 10 values are stored in adjacent places in the memory. So that is another thing of array. It's efficient data structure to store things in the memory in a continuous manner, right? Okay, so let's write down small note about array, and then let's continue the note. Okay, let's move to the right, please go to your note and add to the end. And the new note is also released today. If you want, you can just look into that as well. The new note which is related to what? The new note which is related to HTML, the next lesson that we are going to start is also released, right? You can obtain that by sending message to Ms. Lakmali. Please write the heading. Arrays. That is the main heading. Under that, please write down an array is special data type, data structure, which is used to store more than one value in a single variable, single array variable, using indices at a time. It stores these values in adjacent places in the main memory. Therefore, an array is efficient than using traditional single value variables. An array can be single dimension or multi-dimension. An array can be single dimension or multi-dimension, right? Single, so it can be therefore single dimensional or it can be multi-dimensional. Right, please write down that. Here you can see in this image is a one-dimensional, single-dimensional, one-dimensional array. Right here in the, no need to draw this because it's there in the book. So you know how indices are assigned to the array. These are the indices 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the values. Let's write some coding, practical coding to understand this. Okay, I'll give the coding here this time itself. You can write down the coding underneath of that. And here, this is the normal variable, the traditional variable. Instead of that, I'm declaring an array. Same X I can use. I'm using M or something, maybe marks. So that is you can say. So when you define that, it's array. Then you can name the indices 0 to 9 as integer. You can give any way of like not as like of integers, right? You can give this like 1 to something, 0 to something, 0 to 5, like as you can give. So let's say you give 1 to 9, and then when you try to write ln the particular marks, so what you get here is, right? So here you can see can't read or write variables in this type. You can't read straight away, right? That's the way, because it's not like it's not single atomic variable, it's a set of variables. Therefore, you have to use a loop. For you can say for, let's use another variable, I integer. Then you can say for I equal 1 to 9, do what? You can say write ln. So let's write ln I first. When you write ln I, it will print from 1 to 9, right? 1 to 9. So, but if you write ln marks, marks will I element, marks I. marks 0, it's not, sorry, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3. Then it will print here 9 zeros. So this is indices going from 1 to 9, right? If you want to go from 0 to 9, you can just mention 0 here and 0 here. And you can just mention, and let's write down horizontally and just give space. Here it is, and you can see 10 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because 0, 0th element, first element, second element, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Likewise, there will be 10 elements. By default, the value will be 0. Because no value is given, so value will be 0. If it is real, since no value will be given, the value will be 0 point dot 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 0 point 0 point some 0 point, all zeros, right? So this is what if it is real. If it is Boolean, it is false. False, 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 10 false. False, Boolean can logic. Boolean is logic. So there will be 10 false. False the higher thing. If it is real, 0.000 blah 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 10 such. If it is integer, 10 zeros. If it is string, the default will not come. String then bam hammer. If it is string, no. It will give a warning. So you can't print strings like that. And if it is character or char, the same, right? You can't print like that. So it will be a warning because it's not possible to print because it's empty. It's empty. You can define arrays, but the default values will not be there. Numbers are default 10. For characters, no default value. For string, no default values. Okay, go through this again. So I have described a long lesson short way. So the default values for integers, you can say here, let's add that in the note. First of all, let's define the array. Okay, this is the code. Adding it to the note. Float default is you can see float default is sorry, real default, right? Not real, not float, it's real. Real default is this long one, and then Boolean default is this pasted here, and the Boolean default is false. String char will be empty and no such defaults, right? So please write down this quickly, add that to the note. So this is what you need to learn related to arrays. This is a big lesson. This part is little like we have to learn some more. Therefore, I'm doing this quickly, right? Okay, this is how you assign values. Sorry, this is how you declare that. The next stage we'll learn how to. Next stage we'll learn how to assign values. Please write down this quickly. Next is now you know how these arrays are done and how values are assigned. That is next concern, right? So let's have this integer there. Now it's array of integers. Now it's array of integers. You have zeros there. And let's assign values. That can be done. You can say marks. The 0th element of marks is equal to some value. When you assign that, when you print this value, you can see the mark 0, it's 90. So similar to that, you can assign values. Okay, let's assign some marks. Let's say marks 3 equals some other value, 50. And marks 2 is equal, you can say, you can even do a calculation. And marks 4 is equal to, let's say you can even give like this, marks 0 plus marks 2. 0 is 90. As a marks 3 plus 2, right? Okay, marks 3 plus marks 2, likewise you can assign values like this. Now you can see it's the marks 0 will be 90 and the marks 1 is not given, it's 0. Marks 2 is 40, 20 plus 20 is 40. Marks 3 is 50. Okay. Marks 4 is 3 means 50 plus 2 is 42 plus 4 is 90. So likewise, you can assign values to these marks. So that is also possible. But you can write this part only, no need to write everything. Just write assign in values. And this is how you assign the values to these. Only write this section because other part is not needed. Assign in values and then write this part. Next, write down a question, write a program to enter 10 marks or input 10 marks and add those 10 marks to an array find total, average, minimum, and the maximum of those 10 marks. So this is a little like it's not a simple question. So it's not one step question. It's simple, it's not difficult, but it's not one step question. It has many steps. So please write down the question, then let's try to answer this question now. First of all, please write down the question and then let's try to answer the question. If you're done, please tell me. If you have finished writing, tell me, then we can move. Write a program to input 10 marks and add those 10 marks to an array. Find total, average, minimum, maximum, and of those 10 marks, right? Finish writing. Still doing, right? Okay, do it. Please take your time and write the question. Let's move to the question now and let's find the answer. First of all, write the program to input 10 marks. Marks the hack input karan on. Write to program to enter 10 marks. Okay, so I don't want to input like this now. Instead of that, I'm using the loop and I'm trying to enter 10 marks, right? I'm just writing some message like this, enter marks, right? Enter marks, okay. Then read that marks to marks variable, read that to marks variable and ith item. Marks variable like ith item. Again, marks 0 වලට පළවෙනි එක. The second one to mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, mark ඒ විදිහට read කරන්න ඕන. And I'm running the program. Okay, a disaster. Right, you can see what has happened. Enter marks, enter marks, enter marks, enter marks, enter marks, enter marks, enter marks. It's 10 times. And after that, asking the marks, asking the final step only. It's asking the marks. So I'm typing my marks, but it's only one step, right? It's only one step. Why? What's the reason? You know it. The reason is it's asking marks 10 times, but only reading one time. Again, this will be executed 10 times, but this will be executed only one time. May I know the reason? Yes. May I know the reason? Why? This line will execute 10 times. This line will execute one time. What's the reason? Okay, if you don't know the reason, so please remember, this is very important, very, very, very important. Remember that if you are writing a loop, either for loop or while loop, any loop, loop clear, so it will consider only the first line. By default, it will consider the first line belongs to the loop. එතකොට එයා හිතන්නේ පළවෙනි ලයින් එක තමයි මගේ කියලා හිතන්නේ. මෙයා හිතනවා මේ I මේ for loop එකේ හිතනවා මේ පළවෙනි ලයින් එක තමයි මගේ. අනිත් ඒවා මගේ නෙවෙයි කියලා එයා හිතනවා. It will strongly believe that this is my baby and but this is not belongs to me. ඒ හින්දා තමයි මෙයා එකපාරක් ගිහිලා මෙයා 10 පාරක් කියන්නේ. We have to explicitly tell that both lines belongs to explicitly අපි කියන්න ඕනේ. We have to explicitly tell that both lines belongs to the for loop. To do that, while loop එකෙත් මෙහෙම. You have to explicitly tell. So to do that, you have to include begin for the for loop and end to the for loop. Now what will happen if you add the begin and end? So both lines will execute 10 times. Understood my point? Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then only එතකොට තමයි line දෙකම ගණන් ගන්න. නැත්තම් උඩ එක්කෙනාට විතරයි සලකන්නේ. පල් line එක්කෙනා දුර වැඩිනේ යාට සලකන්නේ. දෙන්නව ගන්න ඕන නම් මම කියන්න ඕන begin එකකුයි end එකකුයි දාලා කියන්න ඕන. මේ end එක dot එකක් නෙවෙයි. This end is semicolon, right? Because this end is dot. This is the last end. But this end is semicolon. This is a temporary end. That end is belongs to for loop, right? For එක ඉවරයි කියලා විතරයි මේ begin end එකකින් කියන්නේ. Not just for the for loop. This is valid for while loop as well. Okay, let's run it. You can see enter marks, good. Enter in marks, enter next mark, enter in that, next, okay, next, coming, next, the next one, and the next one, next one. 10 times it will ask same question, so I have entered 10 marks. Happily, it ends with inputting 10 marks into that array. Now I can print the array. For I'll use same I equal 0 to 9 do, or you can use the reverse way if you know that 9 down to 0. So 9 down to 0 the other way, so that is also okay, right? 9 down to 0 go reverse 9 down to 0, then do what to do. You can print do write marks I and keep some space, right? And you can see it will allow you to enter 10 marks. Here I'm entering 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, sprint in reverse way, right? 45 67 for reverse order, right? Because I have given it reverse order 9 to 0 in the reverse order. But if I'm going to give this at 0 to 9, 0 not down, 0 to 9 is printing in the ascending order, not ascending actually, the beginning to end to be printing. Let's do this now again. Entering 10 marks 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, you can see sprinting from here to here. Okay, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, another thing Pute, and here we don't need the begin and end. Why? You can include begin and end, but it is not compulsory. The reason is, what's the reason? Now you should understand. Begin and end is needed. Begin and end is not compulsory. It's optional. I can include or I can avoid. The reason is, yes, Lashain, what's the reason?
There's no other line.
Yes, there are no lines. There are no lines. So since it is single line, it will implicitly believe that, this is my line. This for loop implicitly believe this is my line. So I don't want to explicitly tell that I need begin and end to, that I don't need begin and end to wrap it, right? Okay, but if I use this, it doesn't matter, right? Using it is also okay. That's your freedom. If you want more code, you can add that. And if you want to look your code like this, then you can add in these things. That depends. That is your preference. But the thing is, the previous one, it must be, right? Here, this is only a preference. If you like, you can add begin and end. Otherwise, you can ignore that begin and end, and you can just write single line. That's enough. Okay. Right. So now you know how to add the line, how to print the line. And next is, how do I find the total? And how can I type the total? The max num, min num, and yeah, those are integers. Integers. And the next one is average, which is a real, which is a decimal number. It's a real. Okay. Then, right. Okay. So we have discussed this already, but in case if you miss, let me mention. If there is only one number, what is the maximum? If there is one number, what is the maximum? Come on, guys.
The only number.
Same.
That is the largest number. If there is one number, the minimum will be same, right? Minimum maximum total, right? That is simple, right? Anyone can understand that logic. Okay, I'm using that logic. So if there is one number, the total is equal to that number. Total. What is the minimum? Min number. That is also equal to that. The 0 for the first one. So what is the maximum? Max number. That is also equal to the particular number. Marks. 0. If there is one, that is the logic. But you know that there are more to come. More will come. So since there is only one, so that is the case. If it is only one, that is the total, that is the maximum, that is the minimum. That is true. That is in the case if only one number is there. But if there are multiple, then you have to rethink. Okay, let's use this for the remaining 9 numbers which is going to come. Remaining 9 numbers which is going to come. It's 1 to 9. Because 0 is already taken. Now 1 to 9 remaining. Now I can begin. I can tell the story. So what is that? I can say if the current input, which is marks I, then if the current input marks I, that is the first one, if it is greater than the current maximum, then what to do? If the newcomer is greater than the current maximum, then you can say you have to change the maximum. You have to actually accept that. If the newcomer is bigger than the current maximum, then the maximum number is that newcomer. If newcomer is greater than the current maximum, then if the newcomer is greater than the current maximum, then the maximum is the newcomer. So simple logic. The other hand, you can say if the newcomer is less than the current minimum. If the newcomer is less than the current minimum, then the minimum number is none other than the newcomer. I think you're okay with that, right? Is it? Or is there any doubts? You always check the newcomer 9 times because you have already taken the 0th one. Now you're comparing the 0th one with the newcomers. If newcomer is greater than the existing maximum, the maximum will be the newcomer. If the newcomer is less than the existing minimum, the new minimum will be the newcomer. Are you agree or any doubts? Yes. Okay, if not clear, let me draw. This is, let's say this is the first. Or the 0th. Okay, 0th. So now you know 0th is the maximum, 0th is the minimum, and 0th is so you can just assign that number. So this 0 is the maximum, this 0 is the minimum, and this 0 is the total. Total is this one. What shall I total like? Total is this one, and minimum is this one, and maximum is also this one. Okay, a new guy came. Now the new guy, this is the new guy. When the new guy comes, you have to compare the current minimum with the new guy. Main minimum minimum is still this one. Main maximum is this newcomer is bigger than the maximum? Yes. Then what you have to do now? This is not the maximum. Sorry. This is not the maximum. Can I erase? Okay, this is not the maximum. Now the maximum is this one. So what about the total? Total is this one plus this one, right? Total is this one plus this one. Okay, that also you need to mention that. What is that? You have to tell the total is the current total, then it's in a total letter, plus the newcomer. Marks the newcomer. That is about the total. Okay, another guy, another one came. Let's look at the figures. Total will be definitely the newcomer should be added to the total. So total will add this, right? Total eකට මෙයාව ගන්නම ඕන. Minimum එකේනා බලනවා මෙයාටත් වැඩි චූටි කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලාද? Is it less than my value? No need to change that. Maximum බලනවා මටත් වැඩි ලොකු කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලාද? අපෝ නෑ. එහෙනම් ගණන් ගන්න ඔහේ. The next number will come now. Now the total බලන් ඉන්නවා අලුත් එකේනා කොහොමත් එයා ගන්නවා. If condition නෑ. No conditions, total will be, this one will also be added to the total, right? No conditions. Minimum බලනවා මම තමා minimum දැනට. මටත් වැඩි චූටි කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලාද? Yes, a newcomer is smaller than this. Newcomer is smaller than the current minimum. So current minimum need to retire now. So let's retire. The current minimum need to retire, and the new minimum is the newcomer. So maximum බලනවා මට වැඩි ලොකු කෙනෙක්ද? නෑ sir, I'm safe. No bigger number. So the next one will come. Okay, a tall guy. Total, come to me. Total, no, you need to add that. Total will accept. Regardless of any value, total will accept. The minimum check-in, is it less than me? No, it's bigger than me. So don't need to worry, it's me. It's me is the smallest. Maximum will check. Is it bigger than me? Yes, it's so maximum need to retire. Sorry, maximum need to retire and ask, you are the new maximum. Finally, you ask, hey, I need to print the maximum and minimum. Finally, you ask, I need to print the maximum and minimum. What is the minimum? Minimum will be this one and maximum will be this one. Is it okay now? Is it clear to you now? Guys?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope it's clear. If not, if you join later, Pute, Kasun, I saw that you didn't there in the class. It's okay. I think you have power cut or something, some other issue. So just go through the video. This is very important one. Just go to the video and you can understand it's easy because I have explained clearly few times, right? Okay, let's clear this. Now the code is clear to you. I hope that. So if ඉන්න එක්කෙනාටත් වැඩි ලොක් එකක් ආවොත් එයා තමයි maximum, ඉන්න එක්කෙනාටත් වැඩි පොඩ් එකක් ආවොත් එයා තමයි minimum, total කවුරු ආවත් එයාව එකතු කරගන්නවා. This will happen 9 times. After that, because one time, the first time this has happened, after this process you can say hey, average, because average need to be done one time. Average is equal to total divided by 10. Here comes the average. And finally, after printing these numbers, you can print, write ln to go to the next line, then another write ln. You can say the minimum is a mean number, and the second, so you can say the maximum is max number, the total is the average is AVG. Okay, so let's see. Oh, errors. Then do what? If here then, so should be then. If they not do, run it again. If found, begin, if then, which line? 24th line. Oh, here the semicolon should come. Okay, no errors. So let's input the numbers. Okay, the minimum is 9. Yes, I agree. The maximum is 98. Okay, I agree. The total is 555. Yes, very good. So 5.55 into 10 to the power 1. That is ugly. You know how to redefine that. You can redefine that to 2 decimal points. Now let's run it again. Enter the marks. Okay, here it is. The minimum, maximum, the total, and the average. Okay, that's good. So let's write down this now in your book or in your note. This is the answer. That's why I said the answer is much longer than the question. The question is very small, but the answer is like answer covers everything. That's the reason, right? Answer covers everything. Let's use my favorite font for the coding is Courier New. That is good for coding. Okay, let's write down the answer now. Do it quickly, Pute, because we need to discuss further questions. Now we know how to define an array. We also know how to add the elements, how to navigate through the element, how to access the element, how to get the total average, how to change the elements. Everything is there in this example. Please write down this now in your book. I'll give you 5 minutes, right? Be hurry, do it quickly. Maninkaran. Now we have considerable amount of coding. So related to this, we have just done considerable amount of coding, and next we need to learn what are the other concepts around this. Okay, we learn about these indices. We learn about how these are like this is how indices are given, indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, and basically you access using the array name, and the within square bracket you can just mention the indice or like index number. And here you can see some of the definitions 1 to 5. So it will indicate, like it will add in indices from 1 to 5. 0 to 39 will add 40 indices. And you can see this is how you assign string values to an array. Giving string value is also possible, because arrays are created not just to store the numbers. You can still store string values, but in that case your coding should be done this way. Wait, in that case you have to write here that you are going to insert strings, right? String. You have to string. You have to write like that. Insert strings, and then you can okay. Now this is how you assign strings, integers that totally depend on your requirement, and you can just type that requirement there, right? Okay, so then right, okay, next part is okay, we discuss about this assigning values to these integer indexes. You can see num0 is 45, the 0th location is 45. Then num2 is 36 and num4 is 60. 2, 36, 4 is 60. This is how it's filled. If nothing is given, the numbers will be 0, right? It's not empty, it will be 0 because integers will be initiated with zeros. Right, declaring values, learn how to do that. Printing values, learn how to do that. Then this calculating the total and all, we did that, complete done. And now we have discussed about use of subprograms or procedures. So this is very, very important, because when this is the last part of your coding lesson, right, it's very important. Especially when your program is lengthier, when your program is long, right, you need to consider about that. You need to think about modulating or writing small modules or small areas of codes in the subprocessors. These subprocessors can be functions or procedures. Let's learn the difference now. But before that, let me show an example. Let me tell you an example. Let's say this is a banking system. The main functions of the bank, maybe it's ATM system, something like that. So one is deposit. You need to facilitate the users to deposit money. The second thing is withdraw. So you need to facilitate the user to withdraw money. You can write one subprogram to deposit, another subprogram to withdraw, another subprogram to transfer. So inside the ATM system, you have all deposit, withdraw, ATM, CDM, all these yours. Everything together, it is a banking system. You have the deposit, withdraw, and transfer processes. Those are subprograms, those are processes of this. The advantage of defining a subprocess, you can reuse that subprocess within the program. When you decide, you can reuse that process within the program. That is the advantage. And what's the difference between a procedure? Okay, this might be too much, so be careful. If it is too much, tell me, then I can postpone that part of the next day. I hope that you can catch this lesson, right? If I am too fast, tell me, then I can slow down. As I am telling, if I'm too fast, tell me, then I can slow down, right? Just send me a message indicating that we cannot understand what is that. Everyone, subprogram එක, subprocedure එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ program එක කොටසක්. So you can, so related codes you can group into the modules or these subprocedures. There are two types, function and procedure. The advantage of using a function, because function has a feedback. Function can give you an output, not just the output, it can give you a feedback or a returning value, right? Output back, which is a returning value. Let's say you are asking your computer to input pin number. So let's say input pin number is a function. So after you input the pin number, the ATM says whether the pin number is correct or wrong. So ATM can indicate. It can indicate whether this pin number is correct or wrong. So it can indicate that. So we call that a function because it can indicate after your input, after running it, it can indicate whether it is accurate or correct or wrong, right or wrong. It can indicate that. It's giving a feedback or output. So it's a function. So let's say you ask the computer to shut down. After shutting down, can it give a feedback? Then we can computer shut down karan. Shut down menna kila select karana. After shutting down, can it give a feedback? Kiyanna puluwan hari mama shut down wuna then thanks kiyala kiyanawada? The shutdown wela ivara wenawa. So what will happen? Will it shut down or will it shut down and tell you, yes, thank you, we have like I have shut down. Is it giving a feedback or not giving?
Not giving a feedback.
Not giving a feedback. So when you ask to restart, is it giving a feedback? No, it's just restart. So not giving any feedback. It will restart, but no feedback. So shutdown will give you shutdown will shut down, restart will restart, but no such feedback will be given. So that is a procedure. So similar thing, a set of processes, but the thing is here it's giving a feedback. When you input a pin number, it need to tell you accurate or wrong, correct or wrong. But when it is procedure, no need to give feedback, it will happen, just it. Okay, let's see. So you have two things here, procedure, calculate area. So it will simply calculate the area. But here a function, calculate area. So other than these things, it produces a real feedback. Real feedback means the type of feedback is real. Calculate area. To calculate area, so the circle takes radius, right? This is an input. We call that a parameter. Input to a function is called a parameter. Right? Please write down functions and procedures. Functions and procedures. In programming, the related codes can be grouped into a single unit, such as a function which has a returning value, or procedure non-returning a non-returning type of function. Procedure. In programming, the related codes can be grouped into a single unit, such as a function which has a returning value, or procedure, and it will help modularizing the program into manageable parts. Modularizing the program into manageable, modularize a program into manageable parts. A function or procedure can be reused or recalled by its name. Inputs to a function or procedure is called parameter. A function or procedure may have 0 or more parameters. It's called a parameter, right? Or it's called inputs, sorry, parameters. Inputs are called parameters. a function or procedure may have 0 or more parameters. So let's use the same example which is given here. So this is a procedure, you can just copy and paste there. So it's not having a return in value. Then the function comes which have a real return in value. The data type need to be given, right? And in both the inputs which are given are known as parameters. Those are the inputs which are given here. This I'm making it red color. This red color thing is called the parameter, right? It has only one parameter, and this also has only one parameter, which is in the red color. It's a parameter. The green the green color one or blue color one, I'm just making blue. It's called just writing here. In blue, you are writing return type, and in red it is parameter. Parameter means input, right? Parameter means input to the function. Since no arrows are there in this doc, so it's very difficult to draw arrows. Just edit. Okay, just write on this. If you can put arrows, yes, that's okay. Arrows dala liyanna puluwan නම් ලියන්න. මේ තියෙන්නේ. These are parameters, and this is the return type. And you can see this. I'm making another color. This is I'll just made the purple. Yeah, purple is better. The purple color one is called the name of the function, right? So why I'm using colors? Because it's difficult to draw arrows, right? But you can just point arrows and show the things. Arrows ගාලා පෙන්වන්නට කමක් නැහැ. ඔයාලට පුළුවන් නම් මම මේ නැත්තම් පාටවල වලින් තමයි මම මේ අඳුර ගන්න ලියුවේ. Okay, I'll give you some example how this can be reused. Have you finished writing? If yes, please concentrate. If not, again concentrate. There's a function called rand. Rand function will work only in Word, right? Not in the Google Docs. I'm just going to write that in Word to show you the applicability of a function. Just close in and take a new document. Okay, just save it. Okay, I just want to show you the applicability of this, and that's why I'm just doing this. This is also not needed. I can just save. Okay, here it is. And so while writing, please look. Equal rand is a function. In Word, rand can a function that will give you a random paragraph. You can see here. When you type the function equal rand in the Word, equal rand, rand is a function. When you call that, it will give you call in function name. So I don't want to write the entire code. That is the advantage. Once defined, you can call from the function name. When I run this, and you can see the results. And if I give a parameter function random tree, it will give 3 random paragraphs. If I give random 3,2, let's say it will give 3 paragraphs, each with 2 lines. Paragraph 3ක් දෙනවා. මේ තුනේ තියෙන්නේ line 2යි. එක line එක වාක්‍ය 2යි. Here also, so 1 and another. Okay, දෙකයි තියෙන්නේ. Here also you can see 1 and the second one. Basically, it's giving you the flexibility to customize. So these 3, 2 are called parameters. මේ දෙක තුන කියලා මම දෙන්නේ. These are called parameters. These are used to customize. Right? These are used to customize the values. So I can change 3, 2 and 3, 5 දෙන්න පුළුවන්. It will give 3 paragraphs each with 5 lines. I can give 3, 3 paragraphs each with 10 lines. ඒවා තමයි parameters වල වැදගත්. 3 paragraphs each with 10 lines. If I can give 30 and 10, it will give 30 paragraphs each with 10 lines. Right? 30 and 10, 30 paragraphs each with 10 lines. So see how customizable functions are. When with the parameters, you can, the user, end user can customize the function. Okay, got the idea? The function for an example, wedding is a function in real life. Wedding is a function in real life. When somebody calls, yes, tomorrow there's a wedding, you know that definitely there will be bride and groom, because that is a part of wedding. And definitely there will be bride and groom and their relations. And there will be refreshment service, there will be photography session, and there will be pour ceremony or traditional church function. If it is a traditional church function, there are some functionalities related to that. And if it is traditional like Buddhist culture function, then there will be pour ceremony, something like that, and the photography sessions. So then the lunch, and followed by the thanking and all the speeches of the parties. So all these things will be there in the occasion. So you know that. So you can call a single name wedding. Wedding is the single name given to that function. So function is basically related set of processes or related set of procedures which is termed or which is named with a single name, because it's easy. It's easy to module, it's easy to distinguish, easy to separate, easy to change. You can give your own inputs and change it. In Excel, you know, the equal sum, equal min, max, those are functions. You can change the values, change the ranges. In Excel, this sum, min, max, if are functions. And not only that, in this Pascal also put there, this, what you call this right ln is a function. So, but it is already defined function. Right ln, no parameters will give empty line. Right ln with parameters will print that. So that is also a function. Okay, I hope the things are clear to you now. Right, we need to learn coding related to function, but that is very small thing. We can do that next day with the remaining theoretical part. So I'll stop from here for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask. If not, let's conclude. Okay, do you have doubts? Seems no. Only doubt is when this is going to be finished. Yes, it's the time. Then good night. See you all next week.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.